I love one take scenes. Where like you run the camera and you have one take. There's no editing. There's no cutting for 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Firefly opened their movie with their surrounding movie with a 5 minutes. I think it was about 5 minutes scene. It just has an energy. Especially when they're walking and talking, there's characters coming in and out. It's like really impressive. There's a movie that did it where the guy was on a fucking beach and there's all this shit going on. Like that was probably the most impressive. Well, I forget the name of that movie, but I think it was like a war movie. It was on a beach. There's people dying and in pain, and there's a band playing, and there's a ship. Like just awesome stuff. I'm obsessed with that kind of filmmaking. I did a short film one time, which we're going to be talking about here in a couple minutes, where the first 6 minutes of the film was just one take. It gives it an energy. I really like it. I've been obsessed with it for years. And so that happened in a season 2 episode of Mr. Robot over on Patreon. I recorded a reaction to it yesterday. And I got about 2.5 minutes into the scene. I was like, wait a minute. They ain't cut yet. It was like a 3-minute scene, and they're walking and talking, and then they sit down, and it's just, I really liked it. I liked it so much I recorded a separate reaction just to that 3-minute scene to speculating about, how they did it, maybe how they captured sound, was there a green screen involved, and all this stuff. And I was going to put that on Patreon, and of course it got fucking blocked. Because everything, even remotely resembling anything to do with Mr. Robot, gets automatically fucking blocked on my channel all the time. No exceptions. One time I tried to post a 30-second clip, and they blocked the shit. Really annoying. So what I'm going to do is I'm posted that for free over on Patreon. Just that 3-minute, my break, I had about a 10-minute breakdown of that 3-minute scene. There's a link in the description below. You can go there, you can go to Patreon, and you can check out me breaking that down. But I felt, okay, well, they can't block my own shit. So I'm going to also right now I'm going to do a breakdown of my scene in my short film. And just explain some of the tricks and like some of the things we did to get around this. Because you have 2 major issues if you're going to do a no-cut, long-running scene of more than a minute, where they're walking and talking, characters are coming in and out, and you're basically following the characters with the camera. There are several issues. One of the issues is lighting. How do you do lighting? Because if you're moving the camera all around a room, all around a house, as we did in this case, in Mr. Robot, the what I was talking about before, where you can check out that link, they had natural lighting because they went outside. They started in a dark hallway, and they probably had just enough ambient light, maybe a couple little movie lights hidden away somewhere, where you could just make out what's happening. Then they immediately go outside and they have natural light. So they didn't have to worry about lighting. They did have to worry about capturing sound. I talk about that in detail there, like how I assume they capture sound. Then that's the other issue, is capturing sound. So if you're going to do that, because with static filmmaking, even if you're moving the camera, it's still static filmmaking, because basically you have this area blocked off. We're looking at this right here. The camera is only going to move but so far. This is where it is. Then you can put the lights everywhere the camera's not going to be looking, and you put the microphones everywhere the camera's not looking. But when you're doing this kind of thing, there's no place to put the microphones, there's no place to put the lights, because the camera's going to be 360. You can sometimes have a sound guy right behind the cameraman, so you can capture whatever the camera is pointing at, but that's not always perfect. There's a lot of issues involved with that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through this film, and we're going to talk about how I solved these problems. And if you are an aspiring filmmaker, maybe this can give you some ideas. But if you ever want to try this yourselves, if you're just curious about filmmaking, you like behind-the-scenes stuff, then there's something here for you too. You can just see kind of what we did here. One more note before we get started. I turned the sound off on this because I'm going to be talking. It doesn't matter what the characters are saying. If you want to see the short film the way it was originally intended, without me talking all over it with the sound and everything, there's a link below. I posted it a little over a year ago on my YouTube channel, and there's a link in the description box below that will take you straight to that film, so you can check it out. But this is more of a behind-the-scenes look at it. So they're talking here, and we don't have to worry, because anytime you can't see their lips is a luxury in a situation like this. Another thing we did besides the wireless mics, we also had a microphone on the camera itself. That's not going to be as good of a sound, but anything you can capture, like anytime you can capture something, you're in good shape. And we had a really good Steadicam operator, John Fouts. He was the director of photography for this film. I actually directed this. Basically, my direction involved sitting over in a corner and listening, and since John Fouts had the camera, he was basically essentially the director. Like, I had pretty much prepped him, but he was seeing the camera. He would call cut. He would call action because he could see what was happening. It was not a traditional setup. I didn't have a monitor. I didn't know what the hell was going on. I was actually in a corner. The premise of the story is that everybody around her are ghosts. She's the only actual person who exists, right? So the only living person. We'll put it that way. Whether the ghosts are just in her head or whether they're real, like real ghosts, is left up to the viewer. They can decide that for themselves. But she's the only person, the real person. The rest of them are ghosts. So like, I put a bunch of weird things in here. Like I'm a ghost and I'm dressed up in like I've been around for 100 years or something. So I'm in the corner. That allows me to be in the shot, be close enough to at least have some awareness of what's going on in the scene and whether I would need to cut myself if there's something I didn't like. But when the camera turns around, you won't see a director sitting in a director chair like it's supposedly a background character. And so I can have a little bit of awareness. Otherwise, I'd have to be in a fucking one of the upstairs rooms or something. So all right, we'll keep going. You'll see me here in a second. Now, lighting problem. The lighting issue. We'll get to that in a second. But every light fixture you see, this looks like unnaturally bright over here, right? That's because we had movie lights in every one of these fixtures. We had to replace all the lights that are on with movie lights. Now, this down here, see this light source? That's another movie light that's on the ground going up. We're trying to get good lighting everywhere we can, but we can't see the lights. So that was a lot of trouble. So what we did is we did some, make sure the camera's never going to go low enough where you see the floor lights. So we get some floor lighting, and then there's movie lights in all these fixtures. That turned out to be a pretty big headache. Some of the kitchen lights could not be replaced, like they were permanent fixtures. It was a nightmare. It's something we didn't know ahead of time, of course. You should always thoroughly scout the location, including, you would never think of this, but including whether or not you can unscrew the light bulbs. Because apparently that's a fucking issue. It was for this. Okay, so see, that looks unnaturally bright. This looks unnaturally bright. And this, it looks like a good light's coming through the windows, but it doesn't. As far as like filmmaking goes, it's irrelevant. Like, it's not good enough. She has a wireless mic, and see with the women, what they're wearing with Alexa here, she has a wireless mic, and usually it's around your waist, and you can bring it up into like right here, and so the sound capturing device. I guess I was just saying microphone, is right here, and then there's a cord that goes around to the battery pack that also sends a signal, and that's in her waist. More of a trouble with Vanille here because like what she's wearing doesn't really allow that as much, But it was important that she wear this kind of thing, so that was a little bit. It was having trouble staying in place, in other words. And also in this corner right here behind Vanille, there's a little bitty room where we had the master sound control system with all, that was getting the sound from all these different wireless mics, and he was monitoring the levels and stuff. It was just a lot. It was a lot. These, by the way, is what I was talking about. Those special fixtures there, fucking nightmare trying to unscrew those light bulbs. It was a major issue. But you see, we're having plenty of movement here, so that's a problem. And you see here, she now has that movie light on her. Probably a little unnatural. Like, if we were a Hollywood production, you wouldn't want the light to literally be on her. It gives her kind of a ghostly look, but then you don't have that ghostly look for Vanille here. So that's an issue, right? So also, see how bright this is right here. It's like unnaturally bright because that's a movie light in there. If it was a normal light, it wouldn't be nearly as bright as that. And then Elizabeth here, what she's wearing, you can see it's easy to conceal the wireless mic, so we're good there. By the way, actually, if you look closely here, you can see the bulge of the wireless mic right there. Now, the big screen, like because this was in film festivals, it was a little obvious and it made me nervous, but I don't think anybody's paying attention to this part. There's like all this dialogue going on, characters are bantering and stuff. Probably nobody's looking here, but that's the kind of shit that bothers, filmmakers. And then you can see me over here in my little I guess it's supposed to be a 100-year-old outfit. You know, top hat, gloves, hot as hell because this was the summer. As I remember it, it was like July or August. Fucking hot. Can't have the air on because like the sound issues. You can see another movie like here, of course. But this allowed me to be close up to observe everything. You can see so far the entire film is taking place right here. I'm able to observe all that. And you can see actually this variation. I'd never noticed this before, because I edited this, and you can actually see the reflection of the fan. The fan didn't make any noises, one of the silent fans. You can actually see the reflection of the fan here. We were trying to do anything to get it be a little bit less hot up in this bitch. Okay, so this guy is the one that ends up playing her boyfriend. He's concealed in a movie like here. But he's also playing double duty because we only have so many actors, So he's got a bullshit wig, a little bullshit jacket, and then we use the guy who played our sound, who's also an actor, but he loves to do production side stuff too. But he was the one monitoring sound. We use his voice later in ADR to do the dialogue. So this character would say some stuff, and we're going to pull that dialogue out and put that guy's dialogue in it, right? So what he's going to do, after the camera doesn't see him anymore, he's going to quietly take off his jacket and his wig, toss that aside. And you notice that he's wearing, you notice he's not wearing shoes. So that way he can creep over here and get into place. So you'll see that when it comes. But this is a way to use one actor in two roles. Because plus there's just so much room. You can't have like all these people coming in and out, right? So he's going to play two roles for us. He's basically just gesturing and he's saying different lines, but then we're going to drop in the other guy's dialogue. I do kind of wish, and in other takes it didn't happen, but this jacket got a little caught up on his pants, so we can, if you pay attention later, you're going to see these are the same pants. The other, you'll see him in a minute, he's wearing the same pants. And it wouldn't be, obviously, it would be completely indistinguishable, like there would be two completely different looking characters if we couldn't see the color of his pants. And that was just what happened. This was like take 7. And so, it was just, we're getting a little disheveled at that point. Okay, so at this point, the camera is about ready to turn around and follow them out of this room. And we're going to see, at that point we won't see it, of course, but he's going to pull this off. He's going to pull his little wig off. And he's going to come over here to where she's standing and be ready to step out when the time comes. But he can't step out too soon. See, at this point, as soon as the camera turns around, that's it. He's disrobing at this moment. He can't step out too soon because these 3 actors are going to have to go through the same door to vacate this hallway in a minute. So there's a pretty complicated dance that's going to be required. He's basically just out of frame here. He's probably ready by now. He's got his wig off. He's got his jacket off. But he can't block this doorway because they're going to have to come in through here, go past him, and he's going to step out to be in place in a minute. And remember, this is also why everybody's barefoot. So because this is a wood floor, you would hear all these little tiptoeing through the tulips as we try to clear actors out of here, right? Actually, I think Vanel went back that way. Yeah, Vanel, actually, let me do this. Vanel disappeared this way. The other 2 actors are behind the cameraman. And as the cameraman pulls back, they're slipping through that door and the other guy's coming in. Because the ghosts have disappeared, they've abandoned her. And the camera pulls around. And there he is. And you can see, same pants, same bare feet. But I don't think anybody the first time watching that would ever make the connection it's the same person. And so that right there, at that point, is when we go to static. It was steady cam all the way, and then at this point, for the rest of the film, it's a static. It's on sticks, in other words. So, so what's the takeaway here? Hide the lights in plain sight as much as you can. These kind of lamps work really well. Because, I had actually bought these and brought these in and had them matching, so it looks like they match the decor. But the whole point of these lamps, the house didn't normally have these, right? There's enough overhead lighting for normal purposes. But these lights, get lights like this, little floor lamp lights, and replace them with really high, powerful movie lights. And I forget what these are, 1,000 watts or something like that. Something like that. Some of the highest watts that still fit the attachments. And then get some floor lights if possible. And then figure out a way to capture sound. Some people, they'll hide mics everywhere. If they have, we had a shortage of wireless mics. We only had 4. But so you can put the wireless mics on the actors. The problem with that is when they move, the cloth is going to rub against the microphone, and so then you're going to have a problem because you're going to have that sound. So what you'll have to do is what we did also is we had them stand without moving and recite all of their dialogue. We did that once. That's very important. Make sure you do that so that you have clean dialogue of every single line they're going to say, just in case you do need to replace it. In case the cloth is rubbering, just as they say the word field or something. It's like you got to replace that one word so you can put that one line in there and, get the room audio, obviously. So you can put that room audio behind there and drop it in there. Actually, though, you record these lines there in the room. You don't even need to put the room audio behind them. That's right. Yeah. So that won't even be an issue. Yeah. So get them to stand there. If you're going to do something like this, get them to stand in place in the room, the same room where these lines are going to be spoken, without moving, so there's no cloth rubbing, and get them to say all their lines. Yeah, so it's about capturing audio, and it's about the lighting. Obviously, you're going to need somebody who's really good at Steadicam. John Faust, the guy who was like actually operating the camera, he didn't even need the Steadicam apparatus because he had very strong hands and his hands never shook, and he did it 9 takes and never had an issue. So that wasn't a problem. So obviously you're gonna need somebody to do that. It really gets Steadicam and rehearse. We rehearsed for probably 3 hours. I think we rehearsed in the morning, and then we shot 9 takes in the afternoon. The other problem was Alexa had something she had to go to. I think it was because she was still a high school student at this point, and she had something she had to go to afterwards. So we had to really hard out. Like, we had access to, this was actually her house. We had access to the house after she left, but we didn't have access to her. So the amount of time we could shoot with her was limited. So we were really under the gun. We pulled it off, but we were under the gun pretty much. So that, those are the things that you have to keep in mind. And worry about anything that, any of the moving around and, the carefully orchestrated actors' movements. That's always going to be important. It doesn't matter what you're trying to do in the scene. In this particular case, we had ghosts that disappear, and we have to do that in scene without cutting. So we had to orchestrate that very carefully, plan it out. I had a floor plan, and I was drawing little lines and how this was going to go, and how the characters were going to go, and how the camera is going to go, and all that stuff. Since I have an AutoCAD drafting background, I could print out the floor plans and draw this shit. So, just a lot of preparation ahead of time is what it's going to take, something like that. So. Anyway, so that was, people have mentioned in the comments that, like they would like to hear a little bit more about filmmaking, so this is one of these filmmaking videos.